Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Something a little bit different today. What we're going to discuss today is grid down scenario and what we should do and what I did right and wrong. Okay, first of all, let's go with what I did right. I'm going to be honest with you guys, anything you do to get power to your family in an emergency situation, you have done right. And that's period, ifs, ands, or buts. Okay? Now, there are many scenarios involved. And we have a tree down on a power line. Maybe a storm. Maybe a hurricane. And also, the worst. Maybe civil unrest. EMP. The bad scenarios. But I did do a lot of things wrong. You're looking at one, okay? Now, we had a derecha here, and I had no power for maybe 2 days. And after that, I said, that's not going to happen again. I ran down to the big box stores and picked this thing up. And it did help me during Sandy. Okay, as soon as my power went out, I went, brought this thing out, filled it up with gas, ran the extension cords, and then, oops, don't have enough gas. Thank God, about 8 miles down the street, there was a gas station that still had power. God knows why, but he did. And for the next 3 days, that's where I was, every 5 to 8 hours, okay? Because I didn't have many cans either, and the cans were all depleted out of the big box stores. So, live and learn, correct? So, the next thing I did was, after we survived that, which we did, I decided I better stockpile gas, which that's exactly what I did. And I had like 50 gallons. And then I said, gee, you know what? That's just a bomb in my garage. So what I decided to do was, I looked and they said that this is a very easy conversion to tri-fuel. So as you can see, I'm not going to get into the whole video on how I did this, but I am going to tell you, I am an all thumbs kind of a guy, and this was the easiest one I've ever done. Super, super easy. So if you have one of these, don't even worry about it. It is very easy to do. Now, I did overuse this generator, and the lights started to flicker in the house, and I had to pull some plugs and stuff. So then I decided that I'd do a little research and then all of a sudden the transfer switch came in, which I'll show you. And you know, the installation of these, it's all over YouTube. This is more of a video on the rights and wrongs of power grid situation. Now, I am going to tell you, this bad boy is nice, but it has well over 75, 76 or more decibels. And I'm going to tell you, in a civil unrest situation, or where they're looting, if you fire this up, folks, that's the dinner bell for the gangs and the looters. They're going to hear it and they're going to follow it, and you're going to have to deal with them. So that's something to think about. I wish I had. I'm glad I got it to a point, because again, I don't want to sound like an extreme prepper, but I do have a backup to the backup to the backup. So then I decided that, gee, I think I'll get one of those little EU 2000i's. Very nice unit. Very nice unit. Converted that to tri-fuel. And I have to give a great big shout out to Hutch Mountain. Their conversion kit, again, is so simple, a guy with me with all thumbs could do it. The worst thing you have to do is make sure you drill 2 holes correctly, exactly where they tell you, and there's videos on it. And then the rest is simple, very simple. Follow the instructions in the video, and I recommend them. Okay? So I did that part, and I also dumped the gas. Okay. In the old days, I'm talking about 5 or so years ago, if you guys remember, they were recommending, State Bill was recommending every year to turn over your gas. I just bought some State Bill, and now they say 2 years. So if you really think about it, still 2 years is a pain. If you have 50 gallons of gas, that you have to put it in the car, go back down, get 50 gallons of gas. You have to make sure that you stabilize your gas for 2 years and put it in a situation, put it somewhere so that it's not going to evolve into a situation of an explosion. So what I did is I decided to go with propane. Still, it's very explosive, okay? And there are rules that you must follow in your particular community. Check with your building department. Sometimes they don't allow explosive gases in garages or, too much of it. But check your local laws. But I got that because it's good forever, and you could transport it if you had to. And it works for me. And I still have about 12 gallons of gas that I could, in an emergency. I guess it's for the cars or also for the little EU 2000. I have the extended range gas kit on there too, which was very easy to put on too, just in case of different scenarios. But I did also go solar, okay, and I gave it a little pick on that to show it to you, and I'm not endorsing that. Now I know you're going to jump all over me about the Apex because it doesn't have regulated 12 volt a system. When it goes under 12 volts, your systems that need 12 volts are not going to act correctly. But I bought it more or less for nighttime. Now during the Hurricane on Sandy, I did not keep my generator running overnight, and I took a big chance on the food. Put a lot of freezer packs in all of the places, and still survived. Maintained just about 40-41 degrees, which is getting really at the high end of where food goes bad. But at that point I said, you know what, I think I'll get one of these solar generators. The reason is stealth again. I put the panels out and try to get it up to 100%. Put a timer on my refrigerator. Now I know you're saying it won't do a refrigerator. That's a pile of bull. It does now I do not have one of those super big ones, ice maker, water, and it's a huge double door stuff. I just have a normal one that the normal Joe would have. And I put it on a 2-hour off, 1 hour on cycle. It makes it through the night. Now as far as the freezer, they tell me you can go 1 or 2 days on a full freezer, and it seemed to be all right with me. So going back to the EU 2000, when I had my electrician over to do the transfer switch, he says, you can't use that little one to power the house because there's I don't know electrician stuff, guys, but he said it's 2 legs and different plugs and everything. But I'm going to tell you what I did. I went to Amazon and I researched adapters, and they had the correct adapter, which is a twist lock for, and I'll show you in a minute, for this system, and it converts to a regular household plug with a ground. So I can use my little red one, and it has 2 legs too. But let's go and take a quick look at that. There's going to be no install video, and I know I'm just sitting here rambling on, but remember, whatever you do is right for you, as long as you have power. So don't let anybody convince you that, oh, you bought a too big a generator or you bought too many generators or stuff. Just remember, have some thick skin and don't worry about what other people say. And the best thing I could say about it is don't tell them what you're doing. So let me go in and show you my my setup. Over here, This is what I was talking about, the Reliance. Now if you could see this, try to remember that. There we go. That comes in real nice. Now, in an emergency that I think is going to be longer than one day, I would bring out the EU 2000. And because it's more economical, you can have a one barbecue will last 12 hours on full, and basically on half it'll last 20 hours. Let's go inside and I'll just show you my setup. I know they make a lot of different models of this, but this is the one I got here. Has two 20 amp circuits and four 15 amp circuits. And this is what I was talking about. You remember, you compare it and go back. This is the adapter. Very, very good idea. It goes from there, it's twist lock, to there. So that was my plan. So I'm going to end it right now. And remember, I don't feel bad that I have 3 power sources, because you never know what's going to happen. And if by some chance the worst happens, I would say, to be honest with you guys, you're going to need guns and ammo. But I pray to God that it'll only be maybe a limited outage, and you could either use any one of your designed plans. But I can't emphasize enough to don't just stick them in a shed and not test them out. Okay, every month go out there and test them out. All 3 I do every month. Maybe you could call me a little paranoid, but I have gone through a 4-day outage, and it's not very pleasurable. But in the long term, if you think about what I'm going to say, if this is a very bad situation where the grid's not going to come up for a long time, you probably only need electric power for your refrigerator for a week or 2, depending on how many or how much food that is perishable in your refrigerator and freezer. Okay? Because you're going to have to cook it up. So, I'm going to end that video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon for any notifications for future videos I have. And please, hit the thumbs up like button. Only have 2 subscribers, but I hope this brings in some more. Thank you very much.